100. It's Michelle Lewis, and we are live on Facebook Live
What up?
with Echosmith.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Not much hanging with you in hot Memphis.
Yeah,
Good
it
to be
is
here.
hot. It's like 90-something degrees.
Ooh.
Yeah, but there's a reason to wear a dress, you know, so
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I feel the same exact way. I can't wait till I break out a dress because then I know that it's actually summer, so that's super good. Have you guys ever been to Memphis before?
We have. We had a day off here a few weeks ago. It was very fun. We had fried chicken.
Walked
Me and
to
Graham saw the
see
Foo
duck
Fighters.
walk.
They saw the duck walk. I still haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
We
that is-
stayed at that hotel.
You
I
stayed
know,
at
I
the
should've.
hotel. You didn't see it?
I met the
We
duck
just
master.
stayed there
though.
last night.
I met the guy that carries and takes care of the ducks. So I felt pretty cool.
I love the Duck Master, but the ducks are better.
But the ducks
Don't tell
did,
him that.
But
I
the
know.
ducks did walk past us though while we were doing sound
Yeah, we
check.
didn't see that.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
They
It
liked
was
the
amazing.
music. They would come toward us when we played.
No,
Like,
but
stop
then they told us to
playing!
stop playing, and I was like, I think the
Aw.
ducks like it.
Oh, I think they
Whatever.
like it too.
Yeah.
And also, this fried chicken, I'm assuming Gus's fried chicken.
Of course, you have to.
What?
Yeah, Gus's
World
is the
famous?
best.
Is
It
that-
is so good.
It's the original.
Oh, yeah,
It's
you
a
went
fun
downtown
yeah.
location.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
You got
What's
hooked
up?
up.
You
got
did
hooked up.
invite me last time, and I
I
was like,
did. It would be healthy. Cut it out.
but honestly, I love barbecue, and it can be healthy, you know.
And we're going to get into food later because I heard a little rumor about you guys, which I'm going to let you sit on for the rest of this
Oh, no.
interview till the very end.
Now we're gonna be
Oh,
so
no.
curious.
Now you're going to be super anxious and mess up while we're live. And the reason why I want to hold on is because I do want to get to the new music over my head.
Yes.
And I watched the music video. If I had to pick one word. Interesting. Yes! How'd you know?
It's very
Okay.
Sydney
that's
word
what
of
it
you to
is.
say.
So if you haven't seen the video, you need to go watch it. But
Yes.
there's just, okay, so there's so much going on.
Yes.
I need to know what is the message that you guys are trying to subliminally send me.
Right. So it's not super okay. This is always a hard question to answer because honestly, there's even aspects of it that we're like, I don't know why we did that, but we did it. So it basically encompasses all that you feel when, you know, there's miscommunication and misunderstandings in a relationship or friendship.
Okay, that's why I'm so confused. Okay.
Right, exactly. So it literally is over your head, and that's the point of the video. And of course, you know, there's little aspects that it shows a little more obviously, like, you know, paranoia, and the boys are talking outside, and I can see them through the window and convinced they're talking about me,
We
or
were
little
actually.
things like that.
We were talking
Were you
about
talking
it.
Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
are they gonna kill her with the soup? I'm like, what's going on? There's again, watch the video.
I know there's a
going
lot
on.
of aspects that happen that are connected, but also random.
Yeah.
So anyway, it really just captures that confusing, frustrating tension that happens when there's miscommunication. So I feel like it really captures the feeling of it more than anything, even though it's not very straightforward, but that was the point. We
Yeah.
wanted a video that everyone is like, what just happened?
Well, my favorite part was the goo at the end.
Yes!
That was quite fun.
I was like, did they
slime
just do
is
that for
always
fun?
Yeah, but
I-
honestly,
yeah.
someone told us, you know, I feel like my theory with the slime is that it really just is representing that you're all still staying together and connected? And all these things,
Okay.
despite
Awesome.
all of the hard stuff.
I
But
like it.
I
And
don't know, it was just fun.
And speaking, I know, I thought it was a lot of fun. I just had to ask. I was like, am I supposed to be confused? I hope they don't take
Yes.
offense to this question.
You're
Dare you.
So I passed. How dare me? And you know, speaking of relationships and connecting and all that stuff, you guys
Yeah.
are family. You're in
Yes,
this group
apparently
together.
so.
Apparently so. You're related. I hate
Somehow.
to break the news to you.
We haven't heard that we're not related yet.
Yeah. So, well, it's coming. Get ready.
Oh, boy.
But you
That
know,
would be so awkward.
it would be. This interview would get really awkward. I'm about to tell you, you are not.
Breaking the news on Facebook Live.
But there's got to be, I imagine, pros and cons to working together as a family.
Yeah.
What would you say are the biggest positive and the biggest negative if you had to
Same thing. We know each other very well. So that means we can work together very well. We can also tease and go too far with jokes very easily.
She's just like, uh-huh.
It's exactly, you know, it's like families can do a lot of things really, because they, you know, they understand how the other person works. Then you also know, like, I know just the right jokes to, like, bug Sydney or Graham. Or myself, even, you know?
Who gets in the most trouble?
The most trouble?
Probably you.
Me?
I did not get in trouble. Graham did when he was
Like,
really
growing
young.
up, I guess, like, I was always late to class, so technically I got detention a lot, but it's just
Ugh.
because I was late. It's not like I did anything, like,
Oh, you're in
horrible.
detention.
She'd make us late to school, then I'd go to detention.
Yeah,
for
we
her
made
being
detention all the time together, and I was like,
Ugh.
oh, isn't this fun?
That
I'm not
doesn't
having to do
even-
this solo.
Isn't this fun?
I had a lot of
He's like,
anger
no.
in my heart. Still.
The
He's
fire,
so mad at
the hate
me.
fire.
And I still make him late to things, but,
Yeah.
you don't get detention
Yeah.
anymore. So
No.
it's nice.
So I hear. You don't get attention anymore.
I know, right?
And speaking of music, I do want to get back to that because you guys are doing a huge summer tour with Pentatonic.
Yes! I'm so
Huge.
excited.
I love you guys. Love them. I actually
They're
got married in September. My husband walked down the aisle.
Congratulations.
Thank you to a Pentatonic's cover. So
That's cool.
They are so great.
they're just amazing. So what are you guys most excited about being on tour with them? What are you most looking forward to?
I think it's going to be really great too, of course, play the shows and interact with the combination of their fans and our fans and the people who are fans of both of us. And it's going to be really cool to meet a bunch of new people because it's a huge tour. It's like 10 to 20,000 caps. So obviously there's plenty of people who probably don't know who we are yet or maybe heard the song once or twice and didn't connect who it was. So it's going to be a really great opportunity to really get to know the fans and let them get to know us. But I'm really excited to hang out with Pentatonics.
You guys are so
we know
humble. You're
them
like,
and-
nobody knows who they are. People know who they are. You guys are super
We'll
cute.
see. We'll see.
And speaking of touring and all this stuff, you have done so many things with so many artists, opening for 21 Pilots,
Yeah.
Goo Goo Dolls, so many different people. Is there anybody
Yeah.
personally that you all would love to work with and collaborate with that you haven't yet or had the opportunity to hang out with?
Yeah, The Killers and Coldplay. Those are like our two
I
dream
want to shake their hand.
collabs.
That's all I need.
We shook Brandon Flowers' hand.
You did? Oh, I was not.
Oh, you were
there.
not there.
Oh.
Me and Graham met him. Yeah, Graham and I met
Oh.
him, and he was so
You don't even remember!
He invited us
Yeah.
into his green room. It was like the coolest experience ever. So, next step, do something musically together. We'll
That
see.
would be really, really, really awesome.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk to you in 10 years.
I can
Find out
hear
what
the
happened.
Coldplay vibe and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
the Killers is something totally different that I think hasn't really been done. So that would be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
And I do want to talk about this. I saw this on Instagram. You guys get into like a team huddle,
Yeah.
and I was curious: is it a prayer? Is it pep talk?
Yeah.
Is it fighting? What goes on in the team
Not
huddle? before
usually
you go out?
fighting.
I hope not.
It's usually a prayer that everything goes well and that we can just share a lot of love on stage. And then we also will go over little things like, oh yeah, remember that we cut the intro for this song in the beginning, so just remember to come in at this time, or little notes like that. And then we do a little 1, 2, 3 Echosmith, and then we hop on stage.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I should have asked this too, thinking back as you mentioned the Killers and Coldplay,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about 21 Pilots and Goo Goo Dolls. This thought just popped into my head. Because you've had the opportunity to meet so many amazing people, have any of them given you kind of advice that you've taken to heart and carried with you, whether it be for touring or handling being on the road?
I think some of the best advice I ever got was we actually made friends with Seal. And
Fun.
yeah, that was pretty cool. And he's a great guy and super, super sweet. And he's a great person to get advice from, obviously. And I remember before our first album, Talking Dreams, came out, I told him, I was like, what, I'm actually really nervous. I just feel kind of weird about it. And he asked me, he's like, okay, well, do you feel proud of it? I was like, yeah, of course. And he's like, that's all that matters.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I will remember that forever because it's so easy to psychoanalyze everything and think, oh, are people going to like it? Is this going to work? And you just need to make sure that you feel proud of it and that you love it.
Yeah, and you have
love
that connection to it, and you can look back and say that this is something that I'm proud of. I think that's actually really
Yeah.
solid advice. I normally get a lot of different answers for that question, and I
Mhm.
love asking it because you never know what little nugget you're going to pick
Yeah.
up on. And
It's
Seal
great
was
for
actually-
everyone to
yeah, he was just here too, and he's amazing to
Oh,
watch.
yeah,
Just
he's the
amazing to
best.
watch live.
Yeah.
And you do make a call back to older music like Cool Kids.
Yeah.
Did you ever expect? It means a lot to so many kids.
Yeah.
Did you ever expect it to blow up the way that it did, or was that just kind of out of nowhere for you guys?
It kind of just grew out of nowhere. I mean, for us, we put out the song a long time ago, and it took like a year and a half to grow. It took a really long time because we're touring kind of from the very beginning with that song. People were starting to kind of get with it, and then all of a sudden we started hearing a bunch of people at shows singing along with us, and that was super exciting.
It's awesome.
And every single day there was always something new, which was I think marked that time as a really exciting time.
Yeah.
So there's just constantly new exciting things going on,
Yeah.
more people hearing about it, and it just kept growing.
Yeah,
was
and
a
that
fun
time's right
On its
now.
own. Yeah.
Yeah, that time's right now. All these new exciting things. So before I let you go, I want to hit you with this one last question because I heard through the grapevine that you guys love food.
Yes.
Oh,
Like
I
are
eat.
big foodies.
Oh yes.
So I want to
We
know
are.
from all of you your absolute favorite food to eat.
Like genre?
I don't discriminate.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with genre because it's too hard to choose specifics.
Okay, fair.
I'm always torn between Japanese and Mexican, but I would say Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah,
Okay.
sushi, ramen,
Yeah, you can never go wrong with any
tempura,
kind of sushi.
everything Japanese.
Japanese.
Soba.
Okay.
What do you like, Graham?
Graham?
Burgers.
Burgers.
American.
Yeah, very solid.
I did a food trip to Hong Kong last year,
Oh my gosh, you're killing me.
and it changed
So
my world.
Dream.
And real authentic
So exotic.
Cantonese Chinese food is out of this planet. And there's a place I went to had 3
Is it
Michelin
out of this world,
stars.
though?
Out of this world. And it's called Bo Expressions. I
Okay.
think, or Expressions. And 3 Michelin stars, absolutely insane. And they have a XLB dumpling, molecular gastronomized, like crazy experience thing that you eat.
What
And it was
language
amazing.
is
Oh, it was just glorious.
It's experience
I need a
language.
photo
Glorious.
of this.
So you need
because
to
it's
tell me
hard
that,
to understand.
They don't eat General Tso's chicken over there?
Oh, it's
Not
very
a
different.
thing?
And they had roasted goose at a place called Yatlock, which had 1 Michelin star. And that was amazing.
Only
Roasted
one
goose.
Michelin star.
Oh my goodness.
Very
Well,
fancy. This guy's very fancy.
Very
I'll
clearly,
try.
we're learning a lot. I want to
He's
thank you
the
guys
best
so
foodie.
much for the time. That's really
Thank
awesome.
you.
We're gonna
Of
get to our
course.
listener lounge, but Echosmith, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll see